Hey guys, I'm Ernie Kid here. How's everybody doing on there? Hope everybody is well, as always. Uh, Back again. Welcome back to Chronicles of the Web. Uh, we are on episode 4 today, and decided to hit you with another crossover with our old webhead. Uh, it's always, like I always say, a good crossover is always good. It does well. A crossover does a lot of things for not just for the characters, but also for the companies. Um, it spreads the interest in the companies. And once again, back in the 90s, guys, we were doing that. There were a lot of crossovers. And I loved them. You know, you gotta remember, I grew up in the 80s. And when the 90s came, yeah, we kind of started getting a lot of stuff that, wasn't but as always, I still followed Spidey no matter what. And that's what the Chronicles of the Web is. Just going down memory lane. So today I went through my collection and pulled out another crossover. You guys probably saw episode 3. Or, yeah, 3. It was 3, I think, yeah. If it's not, I apologize. Yeah, it was episode 3, where I showed off I tried to show off. I don't know where, but informed you guys on what was the next for Chronicles of the Web. So, none other than I give you, ta-da, Spider-Man and Gen 13. This was written by Peter David. Actually, Peter David, yeah, good old Peter David. Good Peter David. I've always nothing but love and respect to that man. I'm glad to see that he's back on his feet after his stroke that he suffered. He's recovering. We recovered well from it. But this was fun. And I will show you images of it as well. But basically, in the story of this crossover between Spidey and the kids of Gen 13, I've always been a fan of Gen 13. My favorite has always been Rainmaker and Fairchild. Those are my two favorites. This is when they were still young and they just broke free of the people that were holding them, and which were known as I.O. I believe that was the name of them. And in this issue, Spidey is, I don't know how, but it's so funny. Spidey is sent to the West Coast by the Daily Bugle. I guess that's pretty much it, to take pictures of, remember, this is still when Peter was still freelance photographer for the Daily Bugle. Yeah, and he's taking pictures of a rock band, and the kids of Gen 13 are in the crowd watching that band play. And unfortunately, a old member of the team, Glider, attacks Spidey, and that's pretty much the beginning. It's simultaneously while they're listening to the band, Spidey is fighting this Glider, and when the bass hits or the drum, psh, you see Spidey get hit, and then it's like, okay. And of course, afterwards, the kids help Peter out, and they save Peter. They save him, and I'll show you some more of it. But it becomes more of not just a team up between Peter and the young heroes. He starts to relate a little bit to them, in a sense, because, in a sense, he was a young hero as they are. You know, he started when he was, what, 15, 16 years old? And pretty much we see that. But it's more of also trying to stop Glider from exposing them, in a sense. But it was a fun issue. I'll show you some images as well in there. Like I said, it was Peter David does what he does best and just tell fun stories. Um, as you can see right here, you got the guitar playing, and look, Peter gets punched. You get the drums. He gets punched. Peter guard. He gets, and then the wailing, and he gets kicked in the nuts. Ouch. And we see the kids at the rock band. They're at the band, as you can see. They're at the band. I'm forgetting the artist was excuse me, the artist was Stuart Immonen. He actually does the artwork, so pretty cool. And like I said, Glider, here's Glider. Here she is right here. That woman right there. Peter is fighting her, and she throws like gas down. And here, I love it because it's really funny. Spidey gets caught by one of the gangs, and she says, "No way! Like it can't be you." Oh, good. If I'm not me, then that means someone else has even screwed up my life than I do. He says I screwed up my life any more than I do. It's pretty interesting. But they know who he is. The gang knows who Spider-Man. They love him. They actually respect him. And you can see Fairchild right here just grabbed one of the bouncers up. It's like, get off of me. And it was just a fun ride, you know. But you could see that, you know, the kids, you know, help out Spidey. They help him out and things like that. And at first, some of them like no, and then one of them they're saying, "Can we bring him back to the place?" And he's like, "No." And some people are looking like some of the people that are helping them out, like, "What's going on?" And look, they put Spidey up on the wall so they don't see him. Right here. Here you go. Right here. It was really fun. This was literally just a fun issue. When Peter finally comes out of being kind of comatose for a while, he starts to realize where he's at, and you know, members of the Gen 13, some of them attack him. Well, people, the ones that didn't help him attack him, and they're just like, "What the hell?" And he's all crazed about it. But they tell him their story and everything like that, and you know, Peter, he kind of understands. And you know, like I said, it becomes more of like they find a kindred spirit in Peter, because he kind of can relate to them. And that's always something that is always been, no matter what, for Spider-Man, has always been the pinnacle of pretty much his popularity, is that he's so relatable. We understand him. We understand what he goes through. Probably one of us have been through a situation that he's in, you know. And you know, that's one of the key things about him. But then of course there's the other things you love about him. His quirkiness is, you know, he can be funny. You know, that his supporting cast is so great. His rogues gallery is so great. But anytime Pete or any heroes from different companies meet each other, I'm always on board. And once again, like I've always said, I've always wished there were more crossovers, team-ups now, especially where writers, where they take both characters very seriously. They don't outshine each other, try to make one character look better than the other, have equal balance. And once again, when it comes to mostly the Spider-Man crossovers, we kind of see that. We see that they always seem to be able to balance him and whoever he's teaming up with. And in this issue alone, he and Gen 13 made a good pairing. And in the end, you know, it kind of ends a little badly, in a sense. It kind of ends badly, but Peter basically when he's going back home, he literally says, and I'm gonna tell you what it is. First of all, he was taking, instead of taking pictures of what he was supposed to, he took pictures of Spider-Man in California, and one of the Gen 13's handlers is like, he says, I read today's headline, major battle in La Jolla. Care to consider your answers? He's talking to the kids, and he basically says here, he says, photos by Peter Parker. Man, wait till I get my hands on that guy. And then he says, and so here's Peter talking. He's like, so that trip wasn't a total loss. Lucky the Bugle was happy with the one photo that happened to come out, and the one where you can't see any of Gen 13's faces. So he made sure he didn't get their faces out there, or gliders either, for that matter. I wonder what will happen to her. Basically, like I said, it was so. It kind of wasn't all too bad in the end. But like I said, the only thing I can complain about, well, really not necessarily complain about, guys, it's more of the fact that I could never see J. Jonah Jameson at the time sending Peter Parker, freelance photographer, out to Los Angeles or California, to the West Coast, just to take pictures of a rock band. No way. I can't see that at all. JJ is a cheapskate at heart, and you know he would never send, especially freelance, no way, to take just pictures of a band, especially Jay, but as always, you got to think past that. And once again, like I said, Peter David does a fine job of, telling a fun story between a young team like Gen 13 at the time and a very big icon like Spider-Man. So, but it was fun. But Spider-Man Gen 13, I do recommend it if you're not just a Spider-Man fan, but if you're a Gen 13, old school Gen 13 fan, I say pick it up. But I remember when I saw this for the first time, and I was like, oh, I gotta get this. Took me, I think, a year. It took me to finally track this bad boy down. Until I finally had to order it, actually, because my local comic store didn't have it. So I had to order it from online store, or forget what they were called at the time, but I had to order from another store that was in Virginia, actually. So yeah, but I got it, and I'm glad I did, and I still keep it in good condition. Gen 13, Spider-Man Gen 13, very well, very good stuff. Yeah, and like I said, Peter David, I love you, sir. I salute you as always. You always do good stuff. You always deliver. But that's all, guys. Tell me what you thought about this issue. If you read it, if you not, I do recommend it to all my Spidey fans out there. Another good crossover between the Webhead. Trust me, guys, I got plenty of crossovers. But as always, this is Mount Vernon Kid coming to you from Chronicles of the Web. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. And look, see, this time I got my Spidey shirt on. This time, I promise you. Yeah, usually when I always do the Chronicle Web, I gotta keep the Spidey shirt on. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Y'all have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of your week. Take care.